Hey, hi, Leslie. Good to see you.
You too.
Welcome back to Pondering Podcast. I'm excited this week because we're digging into questions some more, which, as coaches, that's what we do. Ask questions, dig in deep. So sometimes I think it's helpful for us to look at our questions, what we're asking, and then kind of see what else is out there. So we had listened to the podcast by Rhonda Hess, the Prosperous Coach Podcast, the 8 powerful coaching questions to ask any client anytime. So these are those ones where, if you've got a client who's kind of stuck or you're getting kind of stuck, these questions can apply anywhere. And I think that's helpful if we need to pull something out because we're trying to dig deeper. And I thought, I just list off the 8 that she mentions, and we'll dig in and see where that takes us. Um, the first one was, what do you want? Wow. Some people are like, I don't know. Second was, what's holding you back? The third was, what is costing you to continue holding back? How could you show up differently? What is a new perspective that you could adopt right now? What is the most meaningful action you could take right now? What new habits will you put in place right now? What new skills or support systems will you ensure that or will ensure your success? So 8 questions, which I thought was, simple enough to kind of keep probing deeper. And I was wondering, as you listened, if there was anything, Leslie, that stood out to you that you are like go-tos for you, or questions, maybe some that you steer away from. What was it like for you listening in?
So these are not questions that I tend to have in the back of my head and ask consistently.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was interesting to hear a different perspective. And I think, we're constantly reading new questions and thinking of new questions. I personally really liked the third one, which is, what is it costing you to continue holding back? I feel like this idea of what is it costing you can be spun in so many different ways, just to kind of foster some of that self-awareness around your choice to do this, or your action going this way. What is that costing you in the long run? Because every choice has a cost, right? There's a cost benefit to everything that we do. And I think if we can filter a thought under that idea that there's something that's being lost here, or is there something being lost here? What is it costing you to make that decision, or to continue holding back? Or if you were to make that decision, what would the costs be? I just think that that has so much potential to dig deeper into the why or the reasoning behind what a client is doing or not doing. And I think that's a lot of what we're looking for. So I really liked that perspective of that question.
Yeah, I like how that one is framing that idea of that deeper thought, because most people aren't acknowledging the cost. They're just doing. So I think that is a very helpful perspective to take. One that I really like, I do a lot of habit work, with clients. And so what new habits will you put in place right now? I use that, but I don't add the right now. And so making it about now and what can we do now, I think places a timestamp on it. And so I really liked that thought of, adding it. So when I'm coaching, I don't have like an index of cards to pull out and ask. It's not how it works for me. I'm really in flow with the client and just getting curious and asking more questions. So like having these 8 top questions to ask any client, it's like, maybe I would need that when I'm first starting out with a new client, or if I know we're on a topic that might help me. I just don't find that like these go-to questions. It's more of the flow of the process in coaching for me. But I really liked that idea of the right now, adding that timestamp. And, as far like that idea of you mentioning that what's costing you, her other question, what is the new perspective that you could adopt right now? So she puts that timestamp on a lot of the questioning. And I think that perspective work, also something I do a lot with, really helps clients kind of see what they're not seeing, and, I appreciated just a list. I mean, it was kind of nice to have her, give us 8 questions, talk about how it's relevant to her, and, curious if there's any other ones that stand out to you or ones you use that aren't on this list.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're all good, but to your point, it is, you are flowing with your client and you're using their language. And so there's not always an easy way to just, throw in one of these really great questions. So I think just reading through them and having some of that just in your back pocket to say, oh yeah, maybe that'll come up in my thinking when I'm working with a client. So I do a lot of, what else, or we talked about this last time, like what could get in your way, or changing that to what's stopping you and really focusing in on that. And then I like the right now also, because I think that gives your client this idea of, we're not worrying about what's ahead and we're not focusing on what is in the past. We're right here, right now. So what can you do today? Because I think there's a lot of dwelling on, I shoulda, coulda, woulda, I should be doing this for the future, and I would have done this in the past, and getting them grounded in, we're here right now. So what can we do right now, and let the rest of that stuff go. I like that idea a lot.
Yeah, me too. Well, we're eager for everyone to join in and give us your thoughts on powerful questions and how they relate to you. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back for more. Thanks, Leslie. Take care.